with it. Do it cause I love it and I stuck with it. We ain't with the subbing in the cut with it. Please none of the talks, I heard enough of it. Like, what you gonna do? Where you at? Who you with? You ain't really about this, don't talk about it. Really on the move, on the map, never slip. Keep your hands to your lips, don't talk about it. Real eyes, real lies all the time. Stand on it, if we said it, we don't walk around it. Loose lips, ain't shifts, red cup, blue strips, new phone, who this? No, we don't allow it. Really on go, I don't know what's an off day. Now we on road, came from smoking in the hallway. Now we got shows, boys feeling like Broadway. Always look both ways, even on a crossway. Driving down Cross Bay, out town Barclays. Really on big teams, came up a small way. Championship rings, baby, that's a ball game. Oh, she want a little bag, baby, that's small change. Yeah, that money talk. If we ain't cool, then cut me off. No breaking news, don't run your mouth. Thought it was the plug, now he running off. Thought it was a plug, now he running off. What you gonna do? Where you at? Who you with? You ain't really about this, don't talk about it. Really on the move, on the map.
Hey guys, welcome back to the 5 F's to Love. Tonight we have Real Talk with the Men. This is going to be a very interesting conversation. You know that dynamics of money in a relationship can sometimes, make some people feel inadequate and make some people feel empowered. But we're going to have that real conversation about what does the money mean and the impact on a relationship, and what are the expectations that go with that role of the person who has the purse, the money, the coin, the dollar bills. Well, let me bring in the guys that's having this conversation with me tonight. So I got to start with Michigan. What's going on, RJ?
What's happening, Christine? What's happening?
I think you're really the dude to have this conversation with. You are like one of the, how can I say, in my circle of dudes here in Michigan, you're like that strong alpha guy. So, but the other thing is too, you're all about understanding I would say the comforts of being in that role, but you also respect the person that you're with. So I like that about you. You're a true gentleman, and I like that about you. But you guys know that Southern charm. We got to talk about Tennessee. What's going on, Tim? Good guy.
What's up, RJ? How you doing, Christine?
My God.
Hi. Women tend to think the guys are from the South. You guys got that little Southern charm thing going on.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Well, you guys know, to balance it out, we always need the voice of reason. We got Galen.
That's the guy right there.
When all of this goes haywire. All right, so guys, I'm just going to start off with just a blanket question because I want to dig right in, because I know that the numbers that just came out, there are more women across the globe with six-figure jobs, that means six-figure numbers, than it is in males, period. When you look at Black females and Black males, it's even larger. So it's always an issue in a relationship when it comes to money and the expectations within that relationship. And I think there's some role kind of combination things when it comes to men. So just to let you know, I did poll a couple different men before the show tonight because I wanted to see kind of like what people's thoughts were. So I'll share that at the end though. So my question to you guys is, coming out the spot, is do you think women still expect men to take on the financial responsibility of the relationship, regardless of how much money they make?
I think that is a cultural and also time frame type of perspective. So like for women who are from the old school, right? So that are probably 50 and up, some of them have a mentality based on how they were raised, how their parents raised them, what they saw in their household, that a man should be the provider and protector. And men as well, on the flip side of that coin, men are that, probably 40s and up who were raised the same way, that a man should be the provider and the protector of a household. But then when we get to the younger age group, I don't think is quite as important, just from the circle of people I know. But I do still think that women do have a perspective that men should be taking care of most things. And, but it's kind of a split coin now, based on age and demographic, to where you see, if you look on social media, I think this was a running topic on social media near the end of last year and the beginning of this year, like this 50-50 relationship, is that really a thing? And it's really interesting to see how it breaks more with the younger demographic saying that, yes, that men should pay more, but the older demographic being more okay with it. So it's a really interesting divide. And for me, it's really just about the relationship you have with that individual and what you're both comfortable with and the conversations you're having, because finances, as we all know, can make or break any marriage, any relationship, etc. So that's my thought on it.
Tim?
I agree with RJ, but I think also that, I was watching a skit the other day, and it was two Chinese or Korean people, I don't know, Asian nationality, and the man was going to pay for the meal, and the woman was steady more having a conversation with whoever was in front of him, but she could tell the man came up short, and she made a no-look Dr. J behind the back pass and slipped him the funds to finish the transaction so he wasn't left out there. So I say that to be saying it because if you're both going to the same place, it really doesn't matter whose bank account is it or which one's driving or any of that thing right there, whatever, as long as you don't leave the other person hanging. I mean, if you're all supposed to be, all things are equal and you're going the same direction, then it really shouldn't matter who's driving because you're going to arrive at the same place. Now, it would have been an awkward situation if she would have let it come all the way through till he would have had to turn around and ask her for something. See, that's what makes it different. If you'd have turned around and had to tell her, baby, I'm short. Can you give me that? But they on the same wavelength, so she hit him with the no look, and nobody really seen the pass. But and it went on through. So a lot of times it really doesn't matter who's driving or who's paying or whatever. If you know pretty much about the people you're with, you know their finances and what they got going on, and as long as you don't put them in a situation that they get up in the line and then you let everybody see that they're short or who's paying the most or whatever, it really doesn't matter to nobody.
Okay, Galen?
I think the majority of women still want men to carry more of the load, maybe not all of the load. But as just dealing with couples, as I officiate weddings and other things of that nature, as I do deal with some of that type of stuff, I'm noticing that I am bumping into couples where the woman tends to make more money than the man consistently. So, so what ends up happening is, not saying that these guys are just broke, but some of these women, in our culture, at least, women tend to have more advanced degrees and are getting different type of jobs that go along with the higher levels of education. Therefore, I think that some of these ladies are looking for guys that'll treat them right now. You're making $40,000-$50,000 more than the man, but you bumped into guys that don't do right by you. Now you want to make sure that you get somebody that might not make as much, but checks off all the other boxes. But I think in general, culturally, women expect men to carry more of the load. I still think that there are plenty of ladies that say, your money is our money and my money is my money.
Why do you think the credit score so good?
I agree with that.
Okay, I think there's a lot of truth to what you said. And speaking for one of those women in that space, to me, I'm not worried about the money part. I need you to have a job. That's really important. But to me, it's more about the way you treat me than anything else. Because my thing is, go ahead, what did you say?
Excuse me. But in society in general, I mean, that's how it kind of is. For example, like we could be standing beside each other in the line of Walmart as a couple. And I do the pay for it. And then when I go slide on down, because also I'm doing the pay for it and the bagging and the putting in the basket. By the time I'm through putting in the basket, the clerk will turn around and give you the change.
And that's true. And that's the way I think people in general, and you're correct, a lot of women, it is an empowerment thing. So I think depending on who you are, I'm not going to say every woman, but I do know that a lot of women who are making the money, sometimes the conversation and the tone of the conversation is a little indifferent. But I was watching a movie the other day where the woman picked the restaurant. It was this exclusive high-end restaurant. And she told him the day before, I want to treat you and take you to dinner, right? And the guy was like, okay, cool. She picked a restaurant. So they both caught Uber there and met each other there. Then when the check came, he's like, well, who getting this check? And she didn't move to get the check. So after a while, he just put his credit card down, and the guy came to get the check, and he said, no, wait a minute, come back in a second. And he asked her, he said, well, you said you were taking me out. This is the takeout. Why am I still putting my credit card down? And she said, well, I didn't see it come. He said, we're both sitting here. There's nobody else at the table. Why didn't you just pay? And it got to be a very kind of intense conversation.
Wow.
But when she put down her credit card and threw his to the side, her credit card was declined. So he ended up paying for the meal anyways. But it was like a very intense conversation. And it was kind of like, it was in the restaurant. And it was really funny because it was a white young couple and they went at it about this bill. So do you think people in that situation, if a person, who do you think, if I ask the guy out, naturally I think I'm paying. So, because I asked you out. But if you go, who do you think should pay in that situation?
Well, I think the thing about it is, first of all, I think there's different levels to this. First of all, there's people who are in committed relationships.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that are dating. Obviously, if you're in a committed relationship and your significant other says, hey, I want to take you out, then the understanding is I'm covering it, even though it's coming out of the same general pot.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Now, you start talking about somebody that's getting to know someone as far as dating is concerned, and somebody says, I want to treat you to something.
Right.
Then the idea is if you're treating, then I am not expecting to pay, or at least give the person the option to say, hey, I know you wanted to treat me, but let me cover this.
Mm-hmm.
But see, the problem with the example that you just brought up was that was a manipulative situation. And that's the bottom line. See, dealing with people that are manipulative and, let me just say it just point blank. Too many people right now want to have lifestyles that they don't have the money to live. And they have, when we grew up, we called that champagne tasting beer money.
Yes.
So when you have those type of situations, then it can create problems.
There you go. And that's
the situation.
That's what I was looking for.
And if that guy didn't have the money to cover it, then what happens?
Well, and to piggyback on that, I was raised old school. So I was raised that the man's supposed to pay for a majority of everything. That's just how I was raised. Now I can count on less than 5 fingers the number of times women have actually paid for me when we went out. And that's okay. I don't have that expectation. But if a woman is inviting a man out to take a man out, then to have the expectation that the man should also pay, that's kind of weird to me, right? That doesn't gel up. That's like a man asking a woman out and then expecting her to pay because he asked her out. Women would drag you all day. Y'all gonna be in a group chat talking about I can't tell you, you can't believe what Earl did tonight. You know what I'm saying? So, we got to just keep it real. So the reality is, the onus is on the individual who is asking the other person out to pay. But it's not always how it works out. You know what I mean?
That is so true. Okay, folks, look, I agree with you guys 100%, and I'm glad. Galen, you were able to share that because I want women to understand there is a difference, 100%. And that's why I brought up that scenario, because that was a situation where it's kind of manipulative. Jenny, thank you so much for tuning in. She says, if I invite out, I pay. So folks, you need to understand, if you invite out, you should pay. And she says, my card is never declined. Okay, so that's even better. So, whoever's looking at Jenny, you notice it's going to be the meals taken care of. Guys, we'll be right back after this quick commercial break. And we're going to pick up on this conversation because this whole thing with money and relationships and expectations is a hot conversation right now. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
My name is Christine Burkett, the inventor of the 5 F's to Love. This is a compatibility app. It's an app that gives you an opportunity to rate words that start with the letter F in chronological order of importance to you, to help you find your one true love, your soulmate, and the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with. So after you've taken the time to rate your F's in chronological order, you send a link to the person, you just met, or the person you've been dating for quite some time. Or maybe it's the person you've been married to for 30 to 40 to 50 years. And then you compare your top 5 F's to find out what things you have in common and things that you may perhaps need to work on. This is taking a simplistic perspective on how to find your one true love, your soulmate, the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with. And thank you for downloading the 5Fs app.
Hey guys, welcome back to 5Fs to Love Network with Real Talk with the Men. This is a very exciting conversation for me because I talk to the ladies and I talk to the guys, and this is all about money, relationships, and expectations because it's kind of like a little hot topic. So let's look at, do you think traditional roles still apply, and what role does currency play in that? I'm going to ask the question again. Do you think traditional roles still apply, and what role does currency play in that? Explain.
I think it depends on the culture, as RJ said earlier, how people are raised. I think it does make a difference. Unfortunately, we have a society that doesn't have models for that culture at times, so that could be problematic as well. Secondly, fewer people are getting married and more people are getting divorced. So now we have a situation where there are more single people now than there's ever been, at least in our country. I can't speak for other countries. So the traditional roles are being adjusted because of the necessity of what's happening in the moment. So if you have people who are at various levels of income levels, education levels, women are meeting men divorced who have child support. Men are meeting women with multiple children. It creates a variable now that requires more complexity, flexibility, understanding, and compromise than ever before. It's not just two people getting together, clean slate, getting together, no children, no background, and we're just going to get together and we're going to build a life now. Now we're having the clash of many variables for couples to get together in ways that we've, over the last couple of decades that we just didn't see before.
That is so true.
That was a long-winded answer.
No, but that was true, and I love it.
Great answer. I think the answer is yes and no. And I think it's ultimately contingent upon the specific situation between the two parties. So, for example, if you're with a woman, say she's going to nursing school, so she can't work right now, so you're going to carry the entire load. So that's the traditional way. But then if we flip it, and we can talk about one of our castmates, the doctor, he's going to medical school. And his wife had to take care of everything until he got to where he needed to be and achieved his goal. So that's more non-traditional. Right. And the problem is, like to what the Reverend said, is it's a lot attached to culture, but our culture has never really given us a blueprint. It's always been the expectation in most cases that the man just pays for everything and that's it. But in different cultures, things are different. But it's really always about the specifics of the dynamic of that relationship between that man and that woman and what works for them, because as in all things, what works for one couple cannot be applicable to the next couple, so on and so forth. So there are a lot of people that like to mirror themselves by, if this married couple can do it this way, we can too. No, they're two completely different individuals than you two are. So do what works for you. So
Tim?
That's a good answer. I mean,
what was like what?
That's it.
Like, hey,
Tim, that's a shocker. You're not going to do that Southern twist on it?
I mean, I mean the same morals as my castmates. I'm here because I believe in a lot of the same things and stuff too, and I brought up, and we're all kind of the same age, so we kind of brought up that way. I just, for some reason, when you kept saying, I kept thinking in my mind, she asked me out to take me out, and then she dragged her people every time to pay. I'd be like, you order like $12 worth of shit. You like had a whole lot. I mean, you ordered like, damn, you went for the supersized shit. Now, like I said, me, I really don't know what to say because I've always been the one that took care of the business or whatever, and I've never really waited around not only for a woman, my friends or anything. If it was me and RJ and Rev out, I don't have a problem with just treating. You know, we go there. I know they can afford it. I know whatever. I'll pay anyway because that's how I roll. But next time we pull up at the gas station, show me you know me too. You know what I mean?
100%. It's the round robin. It's my turn next.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? It don't matter who. Like I said, it goes back to the ride. It don't matter who's driving if we getting there at the same time. So
yeah,
that's just.
Well, you know what?
I wouldn't know what it's like to be worried about who pays for stuff and all that stuff because I always been
Exactly.
to pay. So.
Well, Tim, you got a shout out. Cook said, "Hey, Tim, represent the Dirty South."
What's up, Cook?
All right, so look, you know that always seems to be a topic of discussion in our world when it comes to traditional roles in the currency, because again, we're in a space that we haven't been in before, where women are like dominating across multiple industries, and that check used to be the dominant thing that made you the dominant figure, and then now that's no longer the case. So let me ask you guys, I'm going to give you a scenario and you tell me how you would manage it. What would you say to a woman who was in a relationship with a man who felt like he should play the dominant role in the relationship, but did not have the skill set that she had, and she's a VP of a bank, but he wanted to tell her what to do with the finances because his attitude is, I'm the man of the house, and that's what a man does. Mind you, he has no skill set in that area at all, period. How would you, what advice would you give her?
Teach him how to deal with money. If she's at that level of skill, then recognize and explain to her husband that everyone has skills and a couple is supposed to complement, not compete. Therefore, if we're complementing each other, where you're weak, you pick me up. I'll pick you up. Where I'm weak, you pick me up. And help him understand how to manage the finances so you can manage them together versus saying, because I have this role, because I have this skill, you sit down over there and I got it, versus helping to lift him up and support him. And because when a person develops understanding and skill, they develop confidence. So instead of trying to strip his confidence, help him develop it, but also help him develop the understanding that it's a team effort, not a solo effort.
Okay.
Absolutely. And
RJ, Tim, you agree?
I agree 100%.
But I mean, at the end of the day, if you're not good with money, I'm not going to let you mess my money.
Exactly.
That's at the
that
end
part
of the
too.
day. I don't have my choice or force or whatever. You're not messing mine up. So
now, what I can say, Tim, before RJ jumps in, is I've seen examples of women who had their money together and they got with loser dudes.
That's where I
lost
a
lot of money.
That's what
I
know somebody who lost properties.
Yikes.
Properties, not property. Properties.
And to me, I think you need your butt kicked if you sit up there and let somebody sink your ship. You know, people always get saying you never miss your well till your well run dry. How are you going to let your water go from here all the way to here in your face? And then you realize, oh, I'm out of water.
Yeah.
So when we get to going out of my finances, to keep going going north. I mean, going south. Yeah, we got a problem. We're going to have to because you turn the water on, I turn it all the way off. That's just how I roll. I mean, you had the opportunity, now I got to veto you.
I'm going to tell you right now, I love your analogies. He was like, if the water is up here, you watching it go down.
Right on. Well,
yeah.
to piggyback on the things that the Reverend said, and in agreement with Tim, it's like teamwork makes the dream work. We've always heard that. So the relationship where I'm strong and you're weak, then my strengths are going to help you there. And where I'm weak and you're strong, your strength should help me there. So it should never be a competition. We should always complement each other, but we should never be in a position to where we both are sinking the ship. So one of us has to have the cognizant intelligence to say, okay, if I'm strong in this area and you're weak in this area, let me help guide you and teach you so that we both can become better. Like, you always want to teach your partner. And the problem with a lot of our people and some of our Black men is we think we can't be taught anything once we get to a certain age, right? You can always learn. I learn from my kids every day because they say something to me and I'm like, wow, it's impressive. So as long as you always continuously have an open mind to be willing to learn and understand that we all are ever evolving, changing human beings every single day. Change is the only constant. Evolution is real. So and we make ourselves better every day, and that's just the reality of it. But
and Christine, we're looking at it from the best case scenario. We're looking at just straight on best case scenario. What about the worst case scenario? A lot of these men meet y'all women because of what you have and what you're doing. And it's going to always be another story. The story's endless. It's going to always be something that bringing this man down. And I'm like this. I mean, I'm willing to help everybody do whatever I can do to help you out, do whatever. But I'm not going to lose. And I'm not going to let nobody lose. You know, I cut the hand off before I do that. And some people are just generally out to use you for what they can get. You know, you got givers and you got takers. I said, I wouldn't mind sharing anything with either one of y'all, paying for it. Why? Because I feel like it's reciprocal. I can get it back in return.
Right.
Some people, takers, they don't have no level of that shit. They don't give a damn. They don't care. If you went broke and then somebody Rev loaned you $100,000 to get you back on your feet after he know this man that took you down through there, and then you go back for seconds, then I have a problem with you.
You
because
right.
This is not about the money or none of this stuff. It's about you made a bad call from the beginning. You made a bad choice, and the choice was this man. And some people are just losers, and they're so dead inside that they can't live unless they make everything dead around them. You know, you don't find living and dead together unless it's something like a funeral or something like that. So some people are so dead inside. It doesn't. I mean, they're just losers that, sad to say, and I ain't saying them all that, but some people are just losers that never been even taught to win or even care about winning because they're so short-term goal-minded. And that's going to always allow them to kill everything that's around them. And
so, ladies,
like I said,
I hope y'all paying attention.
If you get 100,000 back up and you back rich the next day, he gonna be the first person right there. How much do I get of that?
Well,
they did nothing. How much my cut?
Hopefully, women. Hopefully, everybody understands what you're saying in the sense of if you know that this person is a taker and you're a giver, then you need to look out for that. I mean, it just goes back to what you originally said. If you watching the water go from here to here, then you watching it, and that's on you.
Well,
all right, Gerald from Real Talk, Gerald 60 from New 40. He said, "Hey guys, very good point, Gerald. Thanks for watching."
What's up, Gerald?
And Reggie Riddick, long time. That's school. That's college. Thank you, Reggie, for watching. He says, "I'll teach you how, but I'm not going to let you mess it up." And that's true. I mean, people do feel that way. What were you going to say, Galen?
I think that part of it, since we're talking about men-women dynamics, especially when it comes to money, I think people, men and women, have to be careful that they're not hooking up with people out of desperation and thirstiness that are not good for their well-being. See, you know, people don't like to take responsibility for their lives. I often tell people, if you're consistently bringing people, if you're consistently encountering bad experiences with people, you're the common denominator.
You are.
And so, you know, some man or some woman wreck your life. They use you for your money. They use you for your business, your success, your your connections or whatever. And if you choose to drive past every red light, then you have to evaluate your own choices. This is what Tim and RJ was just trying to basically say. Where's your responsibility in this? When it's all said and done, people love to play the victim when they are a co-conspirator.
I know that's right.
Downfall.
Speak on it now, Rev. Speak on it. And I'm gonna chime in and say this.
He said co-conspirator.
I tell all my adult friends, all my employees, all my peers, all this all the time. The three biggest problems that us as adults face, and I think I mentioned this last season, that we have a problem with is acceptance of the reality of whatever it is, the choice we've made, self-awareness, and accountability for our own actions. Those are the three biggest problems that every adult walking has. Let me say it again. Self-awareness for your own self, accountability for your own actions, and acceptance of reality of whatever choice you made, you got to deal with it, because God instills in us the ability to make good choices and bad choices. I don't believe in mistakes. I believe we make good choices and we make bad choices, and there are consequences to both. And that's the reality of what it is. And once you understand that, that ties into everything we've been talking about, right? Those playing the victim. Well, I'm the victim, but you played into it and you were an enabler, but now you want to play the victim because it didn't go quite the way you wanted it to. No, cut the BS, right?
Well, the expectations shifted, and that's what happened.
1,000%. So,
all right, so folks, we'll be right back after this quick commercial break, because I'm telling you right now, you think that question got it heated? Wait till we get that next question in. Now, the next question is kind of fun. We'll see what comes out of that conversation. Be right back after this quick commercial break.
Give me some directions to get to you. To get to you, ain't gonna waste my time. I know that we got connection. I think about you. You're on my mind. On my mind. On my mind. Yeah, I'm going out of my mind. Out of my mind. Out of my mind. Yeah, for you, my love. You drive me crazy, tell me what to do, what to do. I'm on my knees, yeah, I am begging you, begging you. I'll break the rules if it will get me to, yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to the 5Fs to Love Network. Tonight we are at Real Talk with the Men. This is a nice little tasty conversation, and following our conversation from yesterday with Galen, which I thought that whole podcast was just so needed. And we talked about religion and dating. I'm just like, we hitting it hard this week. I mean, this is like some great conversations, with the ladies. We had a great conversation on Tuesday, and it got a little intense over there. All of y'all sending the wrong signals out on the street with these men. So I'm just saying, we hitting it hard. So if you have not watched those other podcasts, we have new podcasts on every Monday through Sunday from 8 to 9 p.m. You can catch us here on the 5Fs to Love Network. So guys, I'm going to ask you, if a woman bought you a drink, would you feel emasculated if she just paid for that drink or that dinner for you?
I think it depends on who the woman is. Right? I think it depends. Is this a woman I'm dealing with, I'm involved with? Okay, if this is a random woman, that's a little different. But I think if it's
okay, so let me ask you, RJ, what's the difference? If it's a rando or the woman you're with, what makes it different?
Because for me, I'm raised old school. Like my both of my parents are from the South, so I'm raised old school. My dad's from New Orleans, my mom's from Montgomery, right? So allowing a woman to do those type of things for you off rip with no explanation or understanding, for me, is kind of like, yeah, I appreciate it, but let me buy you a drink or let me pay for your dinner. You know what I mean? Because again, I was never raised and I've never dealt with women that just paid for things. I've always been the provider in every relationship I've been in through my marriage, etc. So for me, that's just weird to me, and it's hard for me to accept women paying for things for me. I'm just not that guy. You know what I mean?
Okay, what about you, Tim?
I mean, I guess it's okay. I mean, in a way, a lot of times that we just in general, men and women, we're just not built to take anything from anybody. You just don't accept gifts and stuff from just anybody, because you don't never know what their reasoning is behind it. Because a lot of people do stuff with one return on their investment. You know what I mean? So I think what really kind of helps with that a lot is that if you don't have to ask me, can I do something for you? If you want to do something for me, do it. I don't want to feel in a position that I'm asked, that I'm having to answer to. Let me make sure I say this right. That if you want to do something for me, go ahead and do it. You want to take me out to dinner, like we was talking earlier, then set it up and take me out to dinner. But I don't want you to tell me, do you want me to take you out to dinner or something like that?
No, but what if a woman, but what if she just paid for it? Would that make you feel emasculated if she just paid for it? Would you be okay with that?
No. I mean, I'll be okay with it.
You don't care? Okay,
Yeah,
what about you?
I mean,
what about you? You're saying you're okay with it. RJ's like, it depends.
I mean, it depends with me too. I mean, I would accept it because also I don't want to make you feel like you some type of way you offer something and I turn it down, because I can accept gifts. I mean, I have been a long time since I had.
No, it's not. It's not a gift. You're just out, and a woman sends you a drink or pays for your dinner. What would you feel about that? Would you feel emasculated if she did it?
I wouldn't feel emasculated. I'd be thinking I'm gonna tear this ass up. Just playing real. Just playing real.
You know,
playing real.
And tear it out the frame.
Oh my God! Why? Oh, why? Galen, what do you say after that? Right?
Send another one over there.
Look, first of all, Tim, it's all good because we're men talking. So I'm just coming from a perspective and the guys are coming from theirs.
One time the rev wasn't the rev. Now let's keep it a buck.
Yeah, so it's all good. And that was a very honest answer that I think many men would say, "Oh, okay, I see what's going on." So, but me personally, I'm not a person that feels as though a lady can make me feel emasculated. So let me just get that right out of the way. So yeah, the question comes into play is if I'm comfortable with something or not. Emasculation is a different feeling, and I think that men have to be careful with language, because sometimes when we're communicating with women will run with words. And one of the words that women will run with is the term emasculate. Being uncomfortable about something is not emasculation. Emasculation is when you feel less than a man.
Yes.
And I don't think that the three guys that you have on this panel right now would have to worry about that issue.
Exactly. I like that you clarified that. So just to let you guys know, my focus group of guys, they all said that they would feel emasculated if a woman. Yeah. That's what I mean. You guys think I come up with this stuff for no reason. Okay, so real quick, Darren said, depends on the communication. And then Reggie said, Reggie, what does for mean? Really? Don't make me call you on the phone, Reggie. What does for mean? So real talk about this whole thing about, I think, and this is the bad part, and RJ can tell you about me. It's, to me, if I go out, I don't care if I'm with a bunch of guys or not. My attitude is I'm Chris. So if I want to pick up the tab, it has nothing to do with I don't think those dudes can do it. It's just me. And so that's the way I look at it. Now, personally, I told you guys about stuff that I've done. I was in a club and felt the man up and said, before I fill you up, one, is it okay that I do it? And afterwards, I got him a drink. And then I walked away. So for me, I'm a different kind of person. And ladies, I'm not recommending that you do what I do. That's not what I'm recommending.
It's like I've told you before, and other male friends of yours have told you before, Chris, you're different. You got tendencies. You understand? And that's just who you are. And we embrace you and we love you, and it's all good.
But
I know.
It's not for everybody. Drink, Chris, no, I would do the tip or whatever. If you bought the meal, I would do the tip or whatever, because I ain't gonna just get out there like I ain't got nothing on nothing or whatever. So if you bought the meal out there, whatever, I'll make sure I peel off for the tip or whatever.
And that's fair too. And I've seen that done. Like
she
a
person she gonna get 2 tips that night, Tim. You understand me?
Yeah. And I think it goes back to the give or take a conversation with Christine. What you're bringing up about being out with friends is a different situation and circumstance.
Yeah.
The thing about it is there's always somebody trying to get a come up on drinks, come up on food. We all have been in the space to where you go somewhere, you buy a little bit of this, they buy a lot of bit of that. And then when it's time to pay the bill, people don't want to pay their part. There always are going to be people, as was stated earlier, that are givers and takers.
Yes, sir.
And you're responsible to make sure that no one is taking advantage of your kindness. So again, me, my baseline is always the same, Christine. God gave us intuition for a reason. Trust it. And when you have,
Okay.
I don't like bad vibration people around me. If I get a bad vibe, you're just not going to be around me anyway to take advantage of me, to use me, to manipulate me, to mess up my success, my energy, my prosperity, my well-being, my peace of mind, or anything. Pay attention to your intuition. It will warn you. If you choose to ignore it, then take responsibility for what you have around you.
And folks, that is a very true statement. So I hope you guys are paying attention. My next question is it's a twister. How do you feel about the roles in a relationship being tested or switched because of currency? How do you feel about the roles in the relationship?
Well, let me jump into this for a second, guys, because I think this is one of the things that people tend to roles, because ladies sometimes will say roles need to be changed until there's a situation and circumstance, for instance, where safety is involved.
Thank you, Galen.
Talk about it, Rev. Talk about it.
Okay, so you know, the lady wants to be the dude, as we would say, wear the pants. But then when there's a situation and circumstance where safety is involved, where protection is involved, and things of that nature, now you need to be the man. There's an expectation that goes along. If there's a dangerous situation, people say take care of the women and the children. Nobody says take care of the men. There's an expectation that men put themselves in danger first, are the last to get rescued, are the first to put their lives on the line. Let's just be clear, we jump in front of the bullet first. So roles being switched based upon currency only go up to a certain point. And after that, then there's a situation and circumstance where people expect men to be men in particular situations. And I'll just leave that at that. I'll let the guys.
No, because I just want to say this to you guys. Galen and I have had this conversation before. That's why I phrased it the way I did so he could say that. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care how much money anybody makes. If it's a dead squirrel, somebody else is getting that squirrel. I want to be clear. I'm not doing no dead squirrels. I'm not doing that. I'm not changing no tires. None of that. I just want to be clear. That is not happening. And more importantly, I don't think currency makes anybody a dominant person in the relationship just in general. I just don't think that. I don't think, but I think that over the years, that conversation has been twisted quite a bit because of that. So Jenny said real quick, I am buying you a drink, then I want you to tear it up. That's what Jenny said.
Better say less, Jenny.
He said the 4 guys on here will not feel less than a man. Okay, Reggie. By the way, it's 3 guys, Reggie. Reggie, are you calling me a man?
Yeah, that's what
he is indirectly.
Right? He said, and Darren said, speak, Rev. What's up, boy? DSU, y'all showing up tonight. All right, DSU. By the way, Dillard, if you're watching, I got my DSU pillow in the back. Reggie said, he gonna tell me some LOL. He said, no, me. Reggie, basically, virtually, you saying you on with them tonight. Virtually.
So listen, I'm gonna 1000% agree with everything the Rev said. And I think that we live in a world where society and social media is doing more damage than good, right? So it's 2 sides of the coin. You have women who, if they make more money than the man, it's not a problem. It's all good. They're gonna support him. They're not gonna try to switch roles. They're gonna still let a man be a man, outside of them being at work. But then you also have those women who feel that, I'm this independent, strong woman, and I don't need a man for this, and that. And they get with a man and they still want to try to, as we say, wear the pants until there's a situation, as the Rev pointed out, to where safety's involved, right? Yeah. Because I think Chris Rock said this. He said, the only things that are loved unconditionally are children, pets, and women. You never hear about men being loved unconditionally. Think about it, right? So there's always this expectation in this society, in the world we live in, that men have to do and take care and provide and protect, and it's okay, but we're never given our flowers, right? And it's unfortunate, but we're used to it. We deal with it, we adapt to it, and it's okay. But
RJ, you want flowers?
I don't mind flowers. It's okay. I've only had it sent to me twice in my life, but
you like flowers?
Who you talking to, RJ?
No, I said, Tim, do you like flowers?
No, I just take the money.
You say
Okay,
you take the money.
Rev,
Just,
do you
let me
like
get the
flowers?
$90 or whatever it costs.
I don't need flowers. No.
Okay, that's nice to know. I'm just
But-
asking because he brought up flowers. I just want to know.
But
Because
what
some
we're
men
saying,
do like
Christine,
flowers.
on the role reverse, I think at the end of the day, like Rev said, a man is going to be a man, no
100%.
matter if he broke, rich, or whatever he is. A man's going to be 10-toed down no matter what. So the roles are not going to be reversed by the amount in somebody's bank account in a relationship. The thing where that comes into play is that a lot of men, people get being a good man and a man twisted. So a lot of times, just because you peace standing up, don't mean you necessarily did one damn man thing all day today. So you're probably gonna have to listen to the person who's the check, what you call it, check writer. You're probably gonna have to listen to that person. But just being a good man, doing things that men do, the money's never gonna be an issue in the household right there, because that's the reason why it's a king and it's a queen. I mean, they both are equal value, but the king makes the hard decisions when it comes down to it, and the queen runs that through the king, and that's for a reason.
Can that definitely 100%, thank you for that, Tim, runs into my next question. Do you feel women feel equality based on money and sexuality because they are now ranked the highest in earners?
Where did these stats come from about women being the
I
highest? Like,
don't
this
even believe these are
is not an
stats.
accurate stat, Christine.
I don't believe these are stats.
I don't know where you pulled this from, but that's not accurate. However,
No, they are. No,
it's accurate. And
You've been reading the
reality,
internet.
that's not
I
accurate.
don't think that's in every. I don't know if those stats are accurate in every
No,
culture.
that's the internet. She just came across
no,
the
not in every culture.
I think it might be specific Black urban areas, certain whatever.
It is. I'm talking about us. We're Black
Okay.
people.
Here's the thing, though. You got a lot of D boys that can't report their income, so that's. We gonna keep it. We keep it real here, right? We keep it real.
Yeah.
I'm related to a lot of them.
RJ said, wait, hold up. You got some street boys who really can't count their income.
No, that's real talk, though. That's real talk.
Okay, but my question still stands. Do you think women feel equality based on money and sexuality? Because
No,
they are
no.
now ranked the highest earners.
No, because
Okay.
the thing about it is, it's always going to be situations or circumstances where a person has to feel that equality based upon their own self-image and self-belief, because there are always going to be obstacles to life. And there are a lot of people, men and women, who have they have high education, they're high earners, and they have very low self-esteem.
Okay.
Therefore, outwardly, they have everything that you're supposed to have to feel confident in the world. But then you see these same ladies on the Steve Harvey show and on all these other shows talking about they're trying to, trying to find a man, trying to find somebody of value, trying to whatever. And the question that comes into play is this, as I've often said, you're going to attract who you are. You're a mental field that radiates and attracts that which corresponds to your dominant beliefs.
Yeah.
So if you don't have confidence and you're trying to feel equal based upon outer measures versus your inherent being, like, you can have the most busted down Pookie on the south side of Chicago who feels as though he's a boss just because he's well known in his neighborhood without two nickels to rub together. And then you can have somebody that's a CEO, male or female, who don't have the same level of confidence. So I think it's dependent on the individual. In other words, what are you bringing to the table outside of a checkbook? Just a question. Because here's the thing, what people have to realize, especially with guys, is if I view you as a headache, then a guy who views you as a headache will leave you and go pick up the cashier at Target.
Facts.
I just said this today. Literally.
I've seen it too many times.
That works in the window at McDonald's.
I just said this today, and I'm going to tell you. So this is what Darren said. Thanks again, DSU, for all your support. He said that's why Halle Berry can't keep a man.
Oh boy.
And Reggie, thanks again, DSU. He said, or J-Lo going back and forth between men.
These are facts.
So the thing is, so RJ, what's your thoughts?
I can't disagree with anything the ref said. I mean, he summed it up quite elegantly, and it's real. Like, you know, for women to feel that there is an equality based on the amount of money they make or their sexuality, they're far removed from reality. It's just really that simple. Like, when men, we want things simple and easy. Unfortunately, women, you're more complex beings because you're more emotionally in tune with things, and we're more physical beings. So for us, when things become too difficult, too challenging, too unnecessary, too much of a headache, as the ref said, we exit the stage left. Right? It's just the reality of what it is. So we like simplicity, and when our simplicity and peace are disrupted, then we want to just keep moving.
Okay, guys, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and then we're coming back, and I'm going to ask you guys the question of the night. You guys got to give these ladies some advice out here on the street. It's getting pretty serious out here. I can't wait to hear you answer it.
Hey, what?
Did you see that lick on the commercial?
I saw it.
You know what?
I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it, Christine.
All right, I got to go. Stop starting stuff.
Look at me, I'm on. 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 Can't stop, keep going. Can't stop, keep going. Can't stop, keep going. Can't stop, keep going.
Yeah. Okay. Hold up. Yeah. I'm chasing the bag, I'm racing the clock. Look at them block, watching them flop. Used to see this in my sleep. When I ain't had shit on my thoughts in the car, I really was lost. Now I'm public with the soundscapes. Niggas floss, I'm really pulling strings for the pound cake. I see you went for a puppet in the clown face for a little wage. That shit, the talk of the town is late. Still me, I never switch sides. Came a long way with the gas tank running on fumes.
I need it all. Do you want it though? Where do I begin? I see the hate, they don't wanna see me win. Bank deposits, I got more coming in. Top down, throw the money in the wind. I don't want it all. Heard he scammer, had to switch up the accounts. Moving paper, gotta call in my account. It's all in, I can have it coming out. Been through the struggle, I can see another drought. Yeah, it's not a purse, it's a merge. 6 figures was a goal, now it's 9 or a hearse. Put it work. Used to pull up, not swerve. No time for the snakes, trying to put them in the dirt. That's word. I gotta get it, it's in my DNA. You only see the highlights, don't know what it takes. Last year stressing, got no sleep. Now I'm right between the courts, out of nosebleeds. Yeah, I see the hate, they don't wanna see me win. Bank deposits, I got more coming in. Top down, throw the money in the wind. I don't want it all. Heard he scammer, had to switch up the accounts. Moving paper, gotta call in my account. It's all in, I can have it coming out. And through the struggle, I can see another drought. Yeah, same circles to the same gang. We just get to it, we don't gangbang. Lost some friends to the same thing. Keep a low pro when we maintain. Find us in a lost somewhere, kicking back. Find you.
Hey guys, welcome back to 5F's to Love Network. And tonight we're talking to Real Talk with the Men. This has been such an engaging and interesting conversation. And I'll be honest with you, is one that I knew you guys was going to go in, but it was a conversation that needed to be had. Because in the circle amongst women, the biggest concern is that they feel like if I'm doing what I need to do professionally, and I got the career together, I got the money together. To your point, Galen, why are they going for the girl at the Target? It's like, I'm not understanding how the girl at the Target is getting in the line that I'm getting in. I done joined the golf course for you. I'm joining these exclusive clubs to get close to you, these organizations. Like, I'm doing all I can do to get close to you, and it's not happening. So that's a major concern. Now, before we go, I just want to say thank you. Somebody sent me some flowers, and RJ, you always think I'm not a girl. See, I am a girl, and I'm saying thank you for the flowers because I know that they're watching and I appreciate them. And they sent my favorite, which are white roses with some nice calla lilies in them. So I am a girl, RJ, and I do like flowers, by the way, and they're absolutely gorgeous. So this question I have for you guys is, how would you advise a woman that is financially stable at the top of her career and looking for a mate? Based on everything I just told you, she's looking for a mate and she can't find one. So Rev is last. So Tim, I'm gonna start off with you. What would you say to her? And Tim, be nice. Be nice.
No, I am nice. I mean,
He's a
just
good guy.
make money. Don't let money make you. I mean, because a person who's really rich and had things and money and stuff like that, so that's the reason why you can have money before and lose it all, and it's so easy to get back rich. The money is not the point. It's the process of getting the money and stuff. And once you're trained into doing that, riches can be gained fairly easily. So the money is definitely not the point. So just make money and don't let money make you, because you'll find a person the average rich person has been broke so many times. Billionaire, if he's been broke and bankrupt so many times, so the money itself is not the point. It's what you do with it and then use it as a tool is what's the point. So don't let money make you is all I'll tell you. Okay, RJ?
I would say approach the situation with an open mind, without judgment. Whatever man or men you are trying out or dating or figuring out the situation, regardless of their financial situation, how do they make you feel? Like, are they checking off the boxes of the things that are important to you outside of the financial? Obviously, they have to have a job and be comfortable in their career. But if they're not making more than you, that I don't necessarily think that should be a deal breaker. But unfortunately, some women think so. But the reality is we're never going to find our perfect mate. So everyone has this checklist of, I need a man or a woman that has this, and this. That doesn't exist. So what you have to come to an understanding and realization is that, what am I willing to accept and what am I willing not to accept? What are my non-negotiables? As long as that individual that you may be drawn to doesn't have any of those non-negotiables, then be open to the process, be open to the experience, and be open to them, because they could be your soulmate and you just don't know it.
Wow. That's deep, RJ. I wasn't expecting all that from you.
I go deep, Christine.
Why should you do it like that?
Chef Lee over there or something? He was like, you got a little, she didn't make, what kind of cocktail you got made tonight? What's going on with that cocktail?
That's a little old fashioned, you dig?
Dang, she hooked up that old fashioned. Okay, Galen, what's
well, yeah, I thought both of the guys answered it well. I would just add a few things so I don't have to repeat what they said. First of all, you're not going to find them at the club. You're not going to find them at the lounge, most likely. So just get that out of the way first. Two, be open to opportunity. Often when I talk to single women friends that I have, I will jokingly say to them, does God have to drop a man through your roof? Because they're not open to, they say they want, but they're not really open to, when I say open, I mean, men energetically know when there's no room for them in a woman's life.
Right.
It's an unsaid thing. It's like, okay, energetically, there's not an open space for possibility here. So if you say you want something, but your energy is cut off, and you're competing against what you say you want, but at a deep subconscious level. So this is the delusion of human consciousness, not a man or woman thing. The delusion of human consciousness is, consciously we say we want something, subconsciously we're afraid to get it for whatever the reason, or we have excuses of not wanting it. And because it's subconscious and unconscious, what ends up happening is we're telling the world, I want to be in a relationship, I want a person. But in your mind, you're saying, I don't have time for this. I don't want to compromise. I don't want to work for it. I don't want to be open. I'm afraid to be hurt, things of that nature. So like I always tell people, if you want to be with somebody else, get yourself together first.
You know what,
Christine?
I love it. Yes.
Real quick. RJ,
you know what? Wait. Tim, wait. Say it again, louder.
I said, if you buy me a drink, ladies.
Bang out time.
Nowhere is that.
Really?
Nobody really like me no drink.
Okay, you know what? Let me talk to our viewers. Darren, thank you again. DSU. Thank you for your support. He says, as a woman, if you try to use money as a power move, then you will always lose that man to the target chick. And Reggie, again, DSU, thank you for chiming in. He said, be 100% authentic self, not but what she thinks a man wants. Don't let material things have a big influence. And that's true. The material things should never be a big influence on any relationship. And then Gerald, your show 60 is the New 40 is tomorrow. He says, awesome show, guys. He said, teach.
Thanks,
and that's what I felt like this was. I really love that you guys were very authentic in your responses, because I want my women out there to understand. I know, honey, I got all these degrees hanging on this wall over here, by the way. That's never in view of me being on any show. No, people don't even know they're hanging on this wall. And I love what I do, but in a relationship, and anybody who's been in a relationship with me will tell you, I'm like Susie Homemaker. I'm totally different. Because to me, home is home. And I was raised that way by these two people right here, my mom and my dad. So it didn't make a difference. My mom had her own business. My dad worked and had his own business. When he came home, though, mom was mom. She set the tone for the house, took care of everything. And the whole cooking thing, don't throw that out, guys. No, I don't cook the best. But like my son says, she got 3 good things she can make. I make them 3 good things. So back it up, okay? And that's what it's all about.
Get
so
your air fryer.
You know what? Here's what people about my air fryer.
You gotta
And
get
you
the
right, I gotta.
air fryer. It's
You know what? And look at Gerald. Gerald, I'm gonna see you tomorrow. He said, but you don't cook, Chris. You know what?
We all know it's okay. It's okay.
Listen, Gerald is
DoorDash
known
and Uber Eats
Look,
are
hold
your
on.
friend. It's okay.
I just want to say Gerald has known me for 30 years. So he knows, like, I haven't been cooking for 30 years. Gerald, but stop putting my business
time
in
to
the
not be
street.
cooking, Christine. Don't say that too loud. Don't say that too loud.
Time for you to get a degree in cooking.
What did you say, Tim?
Time for you to get a degree on the wall in cooking. Put it right over there.
This is what I'm
Put
going
it
to
right
tell
over
you.
there.
I can't. You know what? I have the most fun ever with you guys because of realness. Folks, if you're watching us tonight, be sure that you like whatever social media platform you're watching us on. Be sure to like it. Reggie, you've known me just as long too. Don't be clowning with them on me. I know they make me laugh too. Guys, I just want to say in closing, is it anything that you want to share with any women who are watching right now as it relates to money, relationships, and expectations?
Take care of your money. Take care of your money. Be very careful about using and connecting your money with someone else that is not in divine order, because it's hard to earn and it's easy to lose.
That's a good one.
That's heavy, right? That's it. Mic drop. That's it.
I don't know what to say.
Enough.
Well, ladies,
That's it, Rev.
you heard it here from Rev. He is the voice of reason. He's, oh my God, Darren's like, I have known you longer. I can't. That's my DS. That's my DSU family. I love those guys. And they know that the Qs at DSU, they looked out for me since day one. I love those guys. It's my family.
All right.
They know it. I love those guys. Look at Reggie. He said, "Tamo, thank you, Rev." Reggie, you almost own the house right now with me, just based on the fact that you talked about me a little earlier. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching us tonight on the 5F's to Love Real Talk with the Men. Be sure to like whatever social media platform you're watching, and check us out next week. Whoo, it's going to be a hot topic. I cannot wait to this topic next week. It's going to be Smoking Joe. And I hope everybody tunes in and watches us so that you can understand how to keep your relationships together from a male and female perspective. Watch us any night, Monday through Sunday, here at the 5F's to Love, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll see you guys next Thursday on A Real Talk with Men.